most of the research that has been carried out for in these modeling exercises or small experiments do not involve many developing countries. So we know that SAI, for instance, could have implications on precipitation patterns that would potentially affect some regions, and in particular, the most vulnerable regions that do not have too much capacity to adapt. So this lack of engagement, a more universal engagement in these studies, in these research projects, might impair the ability of developing countries to use those results also to guide policies, right? Mm-hmm. That might be needed in the future. There has not been, for instance, a governance, international governance that could help alleviate this, or could help us initiate in a broader way, the study or the evaluation of SRM. We have pieces here and pieces there, like in the CBD that says, well, some research should not be outdoor, should not be carried out, but we don't have something really profoundly in terms of governance that would lead us, in particular for the SAI, which is global, right? That can have, distributional impacts that are unevenly distributed, as I mentioned, right? So you would not have really equity in that sense. So the fact that we do not know much, and it's interesting to know that some studies says that in the developing countries, when you talk about SRM, they do not object as much as the developed countries, possibly because they are the ones who are feeling more the effects of climate change, because they do not have as much ability to adapt to all these impacts and extreme events. Some people also do not know anything about it. Right. So there has been a lot of questionnaire surveys in that direction. Most people do not know what this is, right? So if somebody comes and asks, depending on the way you ask the question, it might give the impression that, wow, yes, it's going to alleviate the temperature. It is going to be helpful for my agriculture. So the whole story is not there, right? So it's half of the way. So it's very difficult, Mark, at this stage, because there is so little knowledge, in particular in developing countries. And we do need to convey better, to communicate better these alternatives. There are many implications on SRM that I think needs to be studied a little bit further. But I welcome the research in some of these.